Hello! Today I wanted to discuss some ways you can renovate your garden or elevate your garden space this summer. Okay, so one of the first ways I think you can add something special to your garden is to add a pergola or pergola or however you want to pronounce it. I'm gonna say pergola. I don't know how it's pronounced, but I think when you put a pergola in your garden, it just adds a nice designated space in your garden. Like sometimes you've got all this space, even if you have a small garden, and it's really difficult to try and think like, where am I actually going to place furniture? And I think when you have a pergola, it really defines the area, and then you are able to put something in underneath it. You are able to cover the top. If you live in the UK like me, then chances are it's gonna rain whilst you're having your barbecue. So it's nice to have a pergola or a pergola to be able to go and sit under when this happens, because chances are that it's gonna happen to you. But yeah, I also think that they define that space, so it's easier for you to be able to think about different designated areas in your garden, and you can frame it with a pergola in your garden as well. And you can also do lovely things. You can grow plants at the poles, you can hang lights underneath, and yeah, I just think it's just a really nice way to add something special to your garden and make it feel like you're bringing the inside out by kind of creating that roof-like element to your garden. Okay, number two is sometimes I think it's difficult because a lot of people will buy, say, a garden sofa or just garden dining table and chairs, and I think one of the most transformational things for me was actually having the two things. So in my old house, we just had a sofa and a coffee table. Hugo, oh, just grab that. In my old home, we had just a sofa and a coffee table, and I found that although this was perfect for when I just wanted to lounge, read a book, listen to a podcast, when we were having a barbecue and having friends around, it was actually quite difficult because you're eating slumped over, you've only got the coffee table and things like that, and I felt like I really could do with a dining table as well. And now we're in our new house, we've only got dining because we gave the coffee table sofa set to my mum, and now we're thinking, oh, it would be so nice to just be able to come out here and relax on a sofa. So I think if you have one or the other and you're struggling sometimes with different events, think about having them both. I know obviously this is costly, but you can get some good cheap deals on Facebook Marketplace or Gumtree just to get that garden furniture balance right. So when you want to eat, you've got a designate, just like your home. When you want to eat, you've got somewhere designated to eat, and when you want to chill out, you can chill out in the garden as well. And I think you get a lot more use out of the garden this way. And of course, one important thing to get is a garden umbrella, because then this makes it bearable when it's really, really hot, because you want to sit outside, but it's so hot. Depends if your garden is north or south facing. Ours is south, and yeah, it can get really, really hot in the garden. So having a lovely umbrella to shade you from the sun will help you eat more comfortably and relax more comfortably as well. Okay, and my next point is there are, you know, Instagram unfortunately kind of shapes a lot of people in their design choices, and I think like at the moment very neutral colours are in for interiors, and I think like beige, black and white, and I think that sometimes people try and copy this and replicate it in your garden, which I think is totally fine. You know, you could, but I think it's really important to start incorporating colour back into your garden, because this will help with wildlife and things like that. So getting lots of green plants, getting lots of tulips, roses, lavender, all these different plants, if you can just plant them or get them in pots and place them around the garden, you will notice that you'll attract a lot more wildlife, and this is an amazing thing. This is what we want to try and encourage. You know, I know artificial grass, I love artificial grass. I had it in my last house and it was so easy and lovely to lie on, and if you have allergies it's not that bad, but it doesn't encourage wildlife at all, whereas real grass does, and so do all the lovely plants. And I think since I've moved in, I thought, right, the first thing I'm going to do once the garden is kind of like done, is incorporate some colour and some plants and some lovely flowers into the garden. I think this really can help. If you're struggling for inspiration in your garden, is to just add a pop of colour with some flowers, or even if it's not colour, add some green plants, some topiary. I'm probably not pronouncing any of these correctly, but I think, yeah, just adding plants, flowers, shrubs into your garden space is something that can forget about. I think it is really important, and I think that will make you feel like, oh, you know, and when spring comes around, you start seeing all the flowers come out, and it really does just change your shift in mood when you're looking outside into your garden full of flowers and wonderful colours coming through. Okay, number 4 is, how are your fences looking? How is your shed looking? Patio slabs looking? I think this is a really easy trick that it is a bit of effort, but I think it is totally worth it. When it rains and your fences aren't painted, it can start to look a bit grubby in the rain, and obviously when it's dry then it does look a lot better. But have you thought about painting your fences a colour of your choice? There are so many exterior paints that you can get nowadays if you just look a little bit beyond B&Q, because I think if you go to B&Q you kind of get sucked in with just Ron Seal's green, grey, black, brown. If you Hugo, he needs a cut. So if you go online, you can get some of your favourite colours, say from Farrow and Ball, from like, I think it's called Online Decorating Shop, and you can get any colour of your choice made into an exterior paint. And also, you know, I work with Lick a lot, and they've got loads of exterior paints in different sort of shades as well, which can help. You know, you might put grey on your fence, but you like that colour, like everybody's got that colour, just wants different. Then there are other exterior paints out there that you can get. And as well, so that's painting your fence. You could also paint your shed, and I think this is like where you get to experiment a little bit. Like you could paint your shed pink or duck egg blue or any colour of your choice, and just make it look a little bit more interesting. And one good thing about painting your woodwork in the garden is when it rains, you don't get that ugly wet wood look. It actually kind of stays on the surface. So when it's raining in the summer, your garden can still look quite pretty even though it's raining, because of the way that it will repel the water off the wood rather than soaking it in. If you have a look in your garden, you might have already painted your fence and it might just need a refresh. You'll probably understand that. But yeah, I think that's a really good way to elevate your spaces, and it's very inexpensive to just paint your woodwork in the garden, or paint a bench that you might have, or some pots that are looking a little bit drab. You can give them a lick of paint. Make sure it's exterior paint, and make sure you follow the instructions so that it is prepped properly and that it will have the best chance of lasting. We also have some rendered walls in our garden, and they are desperate for a lick of paint, so that's something else that you could think about painting if you've got that in your garden as well. You backing now? Yeah, and I think my 5th point then is styling your garden. Obviously it needs to be good weather when you do this, but like say you're having a family barbecue, or just you and your family, or whoever you live with, even if you're having a barbecue on your own, think about how you dress the area. Could you get a outdoor rug? Could you put extra cushions out? Could you hang some solar powered lights up to make it feel like really boho? Could you bring some of the plants that you keep indoors out for the day, just to create sort of a really nice interior vibe externally, and yeah, just make it feel a little bit more like you're bringing the inside out in the summer. I think like dressing the area really does, well for me anyway, and if you're watching this video you're probably interested in trying to make your home make you happier. I feel like when I dress the garden with like soft furnishings, lights, blankets, like indoor plants, it just makes me feel a lot happier about my space outside, and I feel like I'm getting the most out of my garden from doing so. So if you have a pergola with maybe your dining table underneath, and then you've got your sofa in the like hottest spot of your garden, you've painted your fences, you've painted your shed, you've painted your exterior walls, you've planted some lovely flowers and shrubs and whatever, and trees, and you've given your patio slabs a clean or even a paint. I just think, yeah, that's getting good use out of, because, you know, our gardens are like the same footprint as our house usually. So it's important to be able to frame each section quite well and get the most out of our garden this summer. I hope you like this this video. Please let me know in the comments what you're planning to do to your garden apart from obvious maintenance, because every garden needs so much maintenance each year, don't they? Yeah, let me know what you're planning on doing in your garden this summer. And if you like this video, then please give it a like. I am in the process of growing my YouTube channel, so if you could drop a subscribe if you want to see more of my content, then that would be absolutely fabulous. But if not, then I might pop more algorithm, and I'll see you in the next video.